The Cavaliers travel to Orlando to take on the Magic. 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Orlando. The Magic are minus 4.5, totals 212.5. 69% are leaning toward Orlando, 75% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, Cleveland's plus $1.65 for some money line cash. Now, Orlando is just 3-6 straight up for the season, 4-5 against the spread. The Magic have also failed to cover in 4 out of their last 5 at home, giving up 100 points. Scoring just 100 points per game on average at home. Meanwhile, on the Cleveland side, they're 8-3 ATS in their last 11 in Orlando. Cleveland's also, believe it or not, 4-5 ATS overall for the season, considering how bad they are. Really not a bad ATS record at all. Now, the Magic are 4-1 to the under in their games at home this season. So with all that said and done, give me Cleveland plus 5 after buying the half a point and the under, 221.5 in this one. Next game, Houston at Indiana, 7 o'clock tip-off in Indiana. The Pacers are minus 1, totals 214.5. 55% are leaning toward Houston, 72% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Rockets are plus $1.02 for some money line cash. Now, this Houston offense is scoring 113 points per game on the road, 2-0 straight up in their last 2 ball games. They're taking on a Pacers squad who's failed to cover in 3 out of their last 4 ball games. Indiana's also just 3-6 straight up in their last 9 taking on Houston. The Pacers are 3-1 to the under in their games at home. Give me the underdog, Houston Rockets plus 1 and the under, 214.5 in this one. And with that said, I just want to take a quick time out and just welcome you to the show. I got some lines of personal leans out for Monday's NBA action. But before we get into some more of that, I just want to quickly remind you to check me out at patreon.com/BrockPage. And with a documented win percentage of 60% for the entire year of 2017, you're costing yourself valuable information each and every day you're not subscribed. Now, memberships begin at just $1.99 per month. There's also plenty of free content there as well. So once again, please feel free to just hit that pause button right now, open up your browser, and just type in patreon.com/BrockPage. It'll only take you a few seconds. The link is in the description section below. And if you are a current patron of mine and you're currently watching me right now, I simply cannot thank you enough. You most certainly make it all worth it. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump back into some more lines of personal leans for Monday night's NBA action. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got Heat Pistons, 7 o'clock tip-off in Detroit. The Pistons are minus 4, totals 219.5. 61% are leaning Detroit. And the Heat are plus 165 for some money line cash. Now, Miami is 4-2 against the spread in their last 6, taking on Detroit. The Pistons are just 3-5 against the spread overall, 1-3 ATS at home. The Pistons are also just 2-4 straight up in their last 6, taking on Miami. The Heat are 6-2 to the over so far for the season, 3-1 to the over in their games away from home. Give me Miami plus 4 and the over, 219.5 in this one. Next game, Bulls Knicks, 7:30 New York. The Knicks are minus 2.5, totals 215. 60% are leaning toward the New York Knicks, 71% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Bulls are plus 120 for some money line cash. Now, Chicago is 6-4 ATS in their last 10, 4-1 against the spread in their last 5. They're taking on a New York team who's 2-3 straight up in their games at home. They're also scoring just 106 points per game overall. Now, both teams went 6-4 to the under so far for the season. Give me Chicago plus 3 after buying the hook and the under, 215 in this one. Next game, Pelicans Thunder, 8 o'clock tip-off in Oklahoma City. OKC's minus 4, totals 237.5. 52% are leaning toward OKC, 61% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Pelicans are plus $1.65 for some money line cash. Now, OKC's 3-0 ATS in their last 3 ball games, 4-1 straight up at home, taking on the Pelicans. Meanwhile, the Pels are 0-5 straight up in their last 5 ball games, 1-5 ATS in their last 6. This New Orleans defense is also giving up 121 points per contest, 6-3 to the over. Meanwhile, on the OKC side, they're 3-1 to the over in their games at home this season. So with all that said and done, I'm going to make the chalky play in this one. Give me OKC minus 4 and the over, 237 in this one. Next game, that is going to be Boston at Denver, 9 o'clock tip-off in Denver. The Nuggets are minus 2, totals 208. 61% are leaning toward Boston, 67% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, The Celtics are plus 113 for some money line cash. Now, the Celtics are just 4-5 ATS overall, 2-3 against the spread on the road. Boston's also just 1-2 ATS in their last 3, and they failed to cover in 4 out of their last 6, taking on Denver. Now, this Denver offense is putting up 113 points per contest at home. They're 6-3 against the spread overall for the season. Denver's also gone 8-1 to the under so far for the season. So with all that said and done, give me Denver -2 and the under, 208 in this one. Next game, Raptors, Jazz, 9 o'clock Utah. The Raptors are -2, totals 217. 67% are leaning toward Toronto, and at the moment Utah is plus $1.15 for some money line cash. Now the Jazz are just 4-5 ATS so far for the season, 0-3 straight up in their games at home. This Utah offense is putting up 120. I think they're giving up 120 points per contest at home. My notes are a little off there. Now, on the Toronto side of things, they're 9-1 straight up in their games overall for the season, 3-1 straight up in their games when traveling. This Toronto offense is putting up 117 points per contest. They're shooting nearly 50% from the field. The Toronto Raptors are also 7-3 to the over so far for the season. Give me Toronto -2 and the over, 217 in this one. Next game, Clippers hosting the T-Wolves, 10:30 tip-off in Los Angeles. The Clippers are -5, totals 228. 51% are leaning toward Minnesota, 60% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, Minnesota is plus 185 for some money line cash. Now, the T-Wolves are 4-3 ATS in their last 7 ball games. They're putting up 111 points per contest. They're also 5-0 straight up in their last 5, taking on Los Angeles. 5-0 ATS in their last 5 in Los Angeles, taking on the Clippers as well. Meanwhile, the Clippers are just 1-2 ATS in their last 3, 1-4 straight up in their last 5, taking on Minnesota. The Clippers did go 4-1 to the over in their last 5 versus Minnesota. So with all that said and done, I'm going to take the underdog T-Wolves +5 and the over, 228 in this one. All right, next and final game for the show, it is going to be the Memphis Grizzlies taking on the Golden State Warriors. 10:30 tip-off in Golden State. The Warriors are -14.5, totals 220.5. 70% are leaning toward Golden State, 77% shaded toward the over. And if you like Memphis in an upset here, they are plus 1,100 for some money line cash. Now, Memphis is scoring just 95 points per contest on the road. They've also failed to cover in 6 out of their last 9 when traveling, dating back to last season. Memphis is also just 2-3 against the spread in their last 5 away from home, 1-6 straight up in their last 7 in Golden State. And speaking of Golden State, they're 3-0 against the spread in their last 3 ball games, 6-1 ATS in their last 7. This Golden State offense is putting up 124 points per contest, really just scoring a lot of points. Really scoring a lot of points. Now, Memphis, 4-1 to the under in their games away from home this season. So although Golden State can put up a lot, I don't know if Memphis will put up a lot themselves. So with all that said and done, give me Golden State -14 and the under, 220.5 in this one. All right, folks, that is going to do it for me. Let's just go ahead and quickly recap the picks for today. I like Cleveland +5 and the under, 212.5 in that one. I like Houston +1 as the underdog and the under, 214 in that one against Indiana. I like Miami +4 and the over, 219.5 in Detroit. I also like Chicago +3 in the under, 215 at Madison Square Garden, taking on the Knicks. I also like the OKC Thunder -4 and the over, 237.5, getting the job done at home against the New Orleans Pelicans. I also like Denver -2 and the under, 208 in that game, taking on Boston in Denver. I also like Toronto -2 and the over, 217 in that one. And I do like Minnesota +5 catching the points and the over, 228 in that one. And to finish it out, like I just said, Golden State -14 after buying the hook and the under, 220.5 in this one. All right, folks, that is going to do it for me. But before I get out of here, I just have to quickly remind you to check me out at patreon.com/BrockPage. And with a documented win percentage of 60% for the entire year of 2017, you're costing yourself valuable information each and every day you're not subscribed. Now, memberships begin at just $1.99 per month. There's also plenty of free content there as well. So once again, please feel free to just finish this video or hit that pause button right now and open up your browser. All you got to do is type in patreon.com/BrockPage. It'll only take you a few seconds. Link is in the description section below. And if you are a current patron of mine and you're currently watching this program right now, I simply cannot thank you enough. You most certainly make it all worth it. And with all that said, I just want to thank you, most importantly, for watching today's program. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free information. And please don't forget to check me out at patreon.com/BrockPage.